I'm kind of hungry, low key. I'm thirsty.
Is in order. And the first step to doing that is contacting PDSN for a free personalized debt solution. Everyone with $10,000 in debt or more, ineligible debt qualifies, and there is no minimum credit score required.
Let me put these.
Today, we are going to be talking about a pretty recent case. I'm actually filming this video on Wednesday, and the sentencing for this case happened on Monday. And when all the details came out about this case, it is insane. This case is so evil, so diabolical. Like, the title does not deceive. And so this case has definitely been on my radar recently, but ever since they did the sentencing on Monday, I knew I just had to tell someone about this story. And no one in my life loves true crime as much as you do. So without further ado, let's get into today's case, the case of Ashley Smiley. But before getting into all that, I do want to thank the sponsor of today's episode, Bombas. Bombas is a comfort-focused premium basics brand with a mission to help those in need. Socks, t-shirts, and underwear are actually the top 3 most requested clothing items at Homeless, as well as socks. With her mom, Ashley, 20% off their order. And once again, thank you so much to Bombas for sponsoring today's video. Now back to your video. Carly Gregg was born in Flowood, Mississippi, with her mom, Ashley Gregg, and her father, Kevin Gregg. Growing up, though, it was mostly just Ashley and Carly because her father, Kevin, really wasn't in the picture. Ashley and Kevin did go on to have a second child named Natalie, but unfortunately, this child had passed away at just 7 months old due to genetic abnormalities. Carly's biological father, Kevin, was said to be not a great father figure. He was an alcohol and drug abuser as well as being physically abusive, and Ashley had even filed 2 police reports against Kevin and did not get along with him at all. And actually, at the time of the crime, Ashley was in the middle of a custody battle between her and Kevin because she was trying to take away his visitation rights. So Carly, growing up, was an only child, but she was extremely smart and even skipped a grade. And on top of skipping a grade, she also took the ACT exam at the age of 13 and scored a...
See, at the age of 13, I don't know how you can take tests like that. At the age of 13, I was failing math with the 30. See, this is a lot about me, doesn't it? I had to lock in, though. I'll lock in one day.
30. And for reference, for people who don't know the scoring system of the ACT is very similar to an SAT, if you guys have ever taken that. But basically, a perfect score in the ACT is a 36. And at the age of 13, Carly scored a 30. So she was literally 6 points away from scoring a perfect score. She scored the same exact score that a 16-year-old would get, but after months and months of preparation and studying. She scored a 91% in English, a 95% in math, an 88% in reading, and a 94% in science.
See. My grades, 95 for math, 99 for vet tech, 71 for geography, 89 for English, 86 for biology, 85 for archery or outdoor education, 88 for Spanish. Yeah. I would say I'm pretty average. Maybe. I don't know. I'd say I'm average. Yeah.
And then also at the age of 13, in the spring of 2019, that's when Ashley would go on to meet a man by the name of Heath Smiley, who was a 45-year-old physical therapist assistant.
Oh no.
They would later get married in June of 2020, and although Carly was very smart at such a young age, she was also interested in things like violence and Swiss knives. In 7th grade, she actually got in trouble.
Okay. I mean, me too, bro. Hold on. Hello. Oh, wait.
For troubled kids for about 6 months. The two
What the
would later
heck?
get married in June of 2020, and although Carly was very smart at such a young age, she was also interested in things like violence and Swiss knives.
Low key, me too,
She
bro. Me
actually got
too.
in trouble at school for bringing a Swiss knife and was sent to an alternative school for troubled kids.
In 7th grade, my school, like, went into lockdown. Yeah. On top of that, we had to wear like clear backpacks to school. So that was a bummer. I didn't really get to enjoy my 7th grade year.
For about 6 months until the other school had let her back in. She later attended Northwest Rankin High School in Brandon, Mississippi, which was about 10 minutes away from her home in Flowood.
Mississippi.
But even in high school, she was an amazing student.
Girl,
And
that's me.
actually, in the year of 2022, she had won Student of the Year.
Oh.
And ironically, Carly's mother, Ashley Smiley, was actually a geometry teacher at
Oh.
the high school that Carly attended. And so you would think that maybe having your parents work at school would be a little bit of like a fun thing. Like you would literally just see your mom walking around in between classes. You can talk to her, like get a ride from her. But surprisingly,
if my mom ever worked in my school, I don't think she wouldn't be working for long because them kids are horrible. 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 Actually, hold on.
was quite the opposite for Carly and Ashley because outside of school, they were having lots of problems at home. Because unfortunately, at school, Carly was kind of going through a lot. Although she was the smartest in her class, she was also the youngest in her class. So a lot of people tended to take advantage of that, and they would make her do like their schoolwork, their homework, give them homework answers, help with projects. And so not just in school was Carly having problems. Her and her mother Ashley tended to get into a lot of arguments and disagreements because of Carly's behavior. There was one instance, for example, where Carly was caught helping the whole class cheat on a test that they had, where basically she had went into the teacher's computer and taken pictures of the test answers, and then she had given those test answers to a couple of kids in the class, but eventually those people tended to, give those answers to other people and then give those answers to other people until it eventually slipped up and Carly was caught. So this was an example of an argument that they would get into. Apparently at the time, Carly also had a boyfriend by the name of Anthony, and they were having a little bit of questionable conversation. And so then that's when Ashley had told Carly that she doesn't think it's a good idea that she sees Anthony anymore because she's so young. And basically just told her that she shouldn't focus on boys right now. She should instead just focus on her studies. And this actually led Carly to break up with her boyfriend, Anthony. But at the end of the day, teenagers are going to do whatever they want to do because this breakup did not last for long. As I said, Ashley literally worked at the school that Carly went to. So Ashley would see Carly and Anthony just holding hands around school very openly together. And then at that point, Ashley just decided to let it go and was like, you know what? She's just going to do what she wants to do. It's not that big of a deal. She just kind of trusted her daughter a little bit and was like, okay, she's smart and I trust that she's smart. Ashley also kept parental controls on Carly's devices.
Bro, I had 3 hours of screen time every day. But now that I'm on spring break, I got it unblocked. So now I have unlimited time. But back then I had 3 hours. I have a feeling it's going to go up. I mean, that's probably going to I don't know, call back in or something.
Such as setting time limits on all of her apps. She also restricted Carly from having things like TikTok, as well as making Carly put.
Girl, I just got TikTok I don't know, a few months ago. I barely got TikTok and Instagram. I was only allowed to have YouTube. But I think that's probably for a good reason. What color is this? I don't know what color this is.
Her phone away during bedtime out of fear that she would just stay up late on her phone. So before she went to bed, she would either have to charge it in the kitchen or she would charge it on her mom's nightside table. And Carly's phone would also often be checked because Ashley actually found out that Carly was trying to contact her biological father because of the whole custody battle right now and Ashley wanting to take visitation rights away. Ashley just didn't believe that Carly's biological father was a good role model for her because, as I said, he was an alcohol and drug abuser. He was also very physically abusive. And so when she found out that Carly started to talk to him behind her back, that's when she started to put even more rules on the house. But with more rules around the house just made Carly want to rebel even more. And although it was a great thing that Carly was extremely smart enough to even skip a grade. Unfortunately, since she was able to skip a grade, that also meant that she was the youngest in her class. And so even though she was only 14, a lot of kids in her class were either 15, mostly 16. And around 16 years old is the typical rebellious age where kids start doing things such as smoking weed, smoking nicotine, drinking, things like that. And that is sort of the crowd that Carly started to fall herself into. So she started.
Okay. At the age of 14, I'm coloring like a 5-year-old. How are you vaping? How are you smoking? And how are you drinking at the age of 14? That's like, how do you do that? How do you destroy your lungs at 14? I'm coloring like a 5-year-old and I'm 14. That doesn't make any sense. But I mean, maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm too much of an introvert. It's okay though. I don't care. I'm a A and B student anyway. It's fine.
And she also had a nicotine vape.
Oh no.
As weed cards
No.
that she had hid from her mom in her room. And
No.
unfortunately, on top of all of her drug issues, she also had mental issues as well. She was not in a good place, and a lot of her friends would go on to say that Carly, during this time, even began cutting her thighs. Ashley eventually found out about this and told Carly to go to therapy for anxiety and stress, which she did for a little while, but unfortunately, she never followed through with it. Later down the line, Carly was actually given antipsychotics, but then switched her medication to Lexapro, which is a medication mostly used for depression. But during the trial, they also said this specific thing about Lexapro that I thought was like interesting, that usually whenever doctors, like, it's unfortunate, but usually whenever doctors don't really know what's wrong with you or like why exactly you're acting and thinking the way that you are, Lexapro tends to be just like a medicine that people give you of like, let's hope this works sort of medicine. And it's believed that during this time, that's kind of why they switched her over to Lexapro, because they thought that she had these certain mental issues, but when her antipsychotics weren't kicking in, they switched her over to Lexapro as like a hope this works out. And ironically, she had also switched to Lexapro 5 days before the crime. On the morning of the crime, it was a pretty normal day for the family. Ashley and Carly would actually ride together to school, and so they got ready for school. And then shortly after they left, that's when her stepdad, Heath, was getting ready for work, to which he usually leaves a couple minutes after them every morning. People who saw Carly and Ashley that day said that nothing was really off or weird about them. They were kind of interacting with each other quite normally. And so then later on that day after school, that's when Carly and Ashley came home while the stepdad Heath was still at work, but was about to be home in about 30 minutes. And their after school routine was pretty basic. Every single day, Carly would come home from school and go out and walk her dogs for a little bit, to which she had either 2 or 3.
Quick. Actually, there's nothing much going on with like the puppies at school. What's going on? Nothing much going on with puppies at school. They're good. They're good behaved. They're good behaved. They're well behaved. They love me lots. They love you lots. They love everybody lots. How long is this coloring page gonna take? Ugh, I would be done by now. I would be done by now if it wasn't so detailed. I'm like halfway there. Halfway there? I'm not even halfway. I'm not halfway there yet. It's fine. So this is where we're at. I'm not done. I have so much to do. So much. I'm working on the floor of the paint, of the coloring book, or whatever you want to call it. The rocks. Oh my gosh. It's gonna take forever. Bro, y'all keep dipping out. Y'all are in here for like 15 minutes max, and then y'all dip out, and then y'all dip back in, and then y'all dip out, and then y'all dip back in. Like, either y'all are like leaving frequently, or my computer is gaslighting me into telling me that there's nobody watching when there's somebody watching. Actually, let me check. Refresh. Is there anybody watching? I don't know. I don't care anyway. Not like I don't care, but I don't know. Oh, it feels good.
Dogs. But while Carly was outside, that's when Ashley would take this time to go to Carly's room to do just a quick search around after a very concerning comment she had heard from a student who was also a friend of Carly's that day at school. Apparently, that day at school, a friend of Carly's had went up to Ashley, Carly's mom, and basically just told her that she was really concerned for Carly because, as I said, during this time,
Snitch! 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 Snitch. Not really though, but snitch. I'm just kidding. Not snitch. I mean, I would have done the same thing if my best friend was like vaping. I would tell her mom too. I'm not gonna lie. Cause how do you not tell them? Like, you're watching your best friend like kill her lungs because she wants to be cool and she wants to vape. It's not cool. Vaping is not cool. If you vape, ew. Respectfully, ew. I had a friend who used to vape, but she got arrested. It's okay though. She's probably like still in juvie or something. I don't know. I don't talk to her. I'm not done. Oh. My mom should be coming home in like 3 hours. I don't know whether I should. Can I finish this in 3 hours? Maybe 2, maybe 1, maybe 1 hour if I just shut up and lock in. Yeah, let's see if I'll finish it.
Carly was kind of involving herself into some very dangerous territory, such as drinking and smoking. Carly started to do it a bit too often. That made this friend very concerned for her. She had to have her fix of nicotine and weed every single day and didn't know how to function without either of them. And it was getting to the point where this friend believed that Carly might have an addiction to it. And so because of this friend kind of brought Ashley's attention to all of this because he was scared for Carly. He thought that she was going down a wrong path. With how smart Carly is, why would he just sit back and watch her waste her life away? He wanted to do something to help her. And so after hearing this very concerning information, that's when Ashley went home, and then during their typical routine where Carly would go outside and take the dog, Ashley took this opportunity to go into Carly's room. Lo and behold, Ashley had found 4 vapes in.
Hold on. Give me a sec. Let me put my brake on. Oh, my brakes are loud. Loud and proud.
her room. And so, like every other mother, when seeing this, she was scared for Carly because Carly was only 15 years old, and this stuff.
Girl. 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 What is wrong? What is wrong with you? At 15, at 14, I'm coloring like a 5-year-old. And I'm posting edits of men. And I'm going viral-ish. The worst I'll do is not do my homework at 14. How are you vaping and drinking and smoking at 14 and 15? See, that just says a lot about you. But it also could be because, you're struggling with your health mentally. I don't know. At 14, I'm coloring like a 5-year-old while talking to y'all people. So, yeah. But you're really pretty, though. Low key.
Is addicted, and so of course she didn't want her daughter, with all the potential that she had, to be steered off into the wrong direction. And so, like any other mother, she got mad at this. She was disappointed, even from hearing from Carly's friends that Carly may have a problem. This was extremely serious, and maybe Carly was going through something. Maybe she needed extra help. And then shortly after this, that's when Carly came back home from walking the dogs, and immediately upon walking back into her bedroom, she sees her mom sitting on the bed with the 4 vapes in her hand. And
4. Girl. 4? Girl, that's a lot. 4? That's too much. Way too much. Too much. Way too much. I mean, I'd understand one, maybe 2 vapes. But 4? You're doing too much. Way too much.
Part of this is so scaringly fast. There is footage of this that I'm going to show, not footage of the actual crime, but it's actually a security camera that they had in the kitchen. After Carly sees her mom with the vapes in her hand, I don't think much of a conversation is had before Carly immediately leaves her room, walks to her parents' bedroom, opens up her mom's nightstand that had a gun inside that Ashley kept for intruders and emergencies. And that's when Carly would grab the .38 pistol revolver, walk back into her bedroom, and shoot her mom in the face 3 times. Twice in the middle of her.
What? Oh, over a vape? That is insane. A vape equals someone's life? What? What is this dynamic? What is the dynamic? Where is the common sense? Where is the sense? What? You're telling me you're gonna kill your mom over 4 vapes? What? Where's the sense? Are you not is there something not clicking in your brain that it says, oh, vapes aren't healthy? Where's the part of your brain that says the vapes aren't healthy? Why is it not clicking? Let me use an eraser really quick. Hold on. Because vaping at 14, 15, I'd expect vaping at 17, 18, maybe max 17, but 14, 15, 16. You're a kid. You're still a kid, bro. You still got what, 3, 4 more years till you become an adult? I have 4 years till I become 4 years till I become an adult. I think I'm just being dramatic. It's okay.
Face and once in the chin. Now, there
Oh,
was
no.
a security camera in the kitchens, and I will, warn you, because you can hear the screams for a second, and you do hear the gunshots, although you don't see anything. But it is just so scary to watch this and see how fast everything happened.
I watched this the night before the case. I watched this last night, but I don't think I'm actually gonna play the footage. It's not bad or anything, but I don't want the live to get taken down or whatever. So you're not gonna get any footage.
A big part of
Oh.
being more productive is getting your
Ad.
finances in order. And the
Gotta
first
wait.
step to doing that is contacting PDS Debt for a free personalized debt solution. Everyone with $10,000
I don't have debt.
eligible debt qualifies, and there is no minimum credit score required.
I don't have debt. I'm gonna fast forward. It's a bunch. Oh no.
Everything about that clip
Okay,
is
there.
so eerie. From the moment of her grabbing the gun, hearing the shots, and then seeing even the dogs. After shooting her mom 3 times, that's when Carly would walk into the kitchen and grab a phone that was on the counter that belonged to her mom. And her next course of action was, now that she could...
Okay, this part I will play because it doesn't really show anything, or it doesn't really show anything or whatever. There's nothing much, so I guess I'll play this part.
Her mom, she had planned...
But in the future, there's gonna be more footage because I watched this whole episode the night before, just to see what I'm getting myself into. But there is more footage of a scuffle, so I will be fast forwarding that part, but that part comes later on. So for now, I'm gonna play the footage and then fast forward the parts that I need to.
On killing her stepdad as well. So from her mom's phone, she would then text her stepdad saying, quote, "You almost home, honey?" Sent at 4:14 p.m. And then after that, Heath would respond with, quote, "No, I'll be here for a little bit." Ashley, aka Carly, responds with a thumbs up emoji. It was at this time where Carly would then start going on her own phone and start texting a bunch of her friends saying that she was freaking out, she had an emergency, and something really, really bad.
Girl, you're freaking out, right? But on the camera, you're singing. I don't think you're freaking out. I think you're relishing what you did in the moment, and that's not okay. You look, in the camera, girl, you look chopped. You're chopped. I'm sorry, but you're chopped. You're chopped. Low key, you're kind of chopped. You're chopped, girl. Chopped. I'm not done with this. I'm not even halfway done with this color. Actually, I'm halfway done with the coloring page. But not all the way. Once I'm done with my live, I'm probably gonna watch more. Why not? You're chopped. That's what you are. Carly, in the case where you were getting sentenced, you're chopped.
That happened. A lot of her friends were also very young, so they didn't have like cars or anything to drive to her house. So they were just asking her questions, what's going on, what's happening. And she would respond with very bland answers. There was actually one text message conversation that she had with a friend where the friend had told her, whatever it is, call the police. And Carly just responds with, no.
Oh
And
no.
that's it. But actually, one of her friends, to which, since she is a minor, she's not named in the case. So for the video, we're just going to call her Brittany. So Carly would then call her friend Brittany and tell her that she was really going through something and she needed some help. And so this friend ended up actually coming over to Carly's house, to which, as I said, most of her friends didn't have cars. So Brittany's dad had drove Brittany to Carly's house. And then when Brittany came over, from Brittany's story, she says that when she walked through the door, she just saw Carly in the middle of the living room singing and playing with her dogs. And so she was a bit confused. This doesn't really seem like an emergency. And that was until Carly looked up and said to her, quote, "Do you get squeamish around dead bodies?" And then
I went to a true crime camp where, you would see stuff that really wasn't fit for the squeamish. I would see, like, I don't know, paper mache shaped in, like, the form of remains. And I would see bullets. I would see blood, obviously fake blood. I would see, like, a lot of cool stuff related to crime and, people and blood and stuff like that. So if I ever saw, that, I would probably not be. I'm not a squeamish person. I don't squeam around blood. I don't squeam around any of that. I'm not very squeamish. I would probably not be squeamish, low key. But I don't want to see one. And I would never want to see one. Yeah, almost done. Woohoo. Halfway done. This is where we're at. Is the light on? Yeah, the light's on. That's where we're at. We're getting there.
from there, that's when Carly walked her friend Brittany to her room and showed Brittany her mom's dead body lying on the floor. She tried to tell this friend, I'm actually the one that did it, and even showed her the gun that she used to kill her mom with, and showed her that in the gun there was 6 rounds, and 3 of them had already been shot off. And Carly tells Brittany that the other 3 she's saving for when her stepdad gets home. Carly then goes on to say that her stepdad will probably be home any second, and if Brittany wanted to go out in the backyard and hang out there for a while Carly was inside killing her stepdad. Now, Brittany to this ended up saying okay, and then went outside and actually waited. Now, a lot of people were contemplating why this was. Brittany was the same age as Carly. She was a 15-year-old girl. And if someone, anyone really, shows you a dead body with a gun in their hand because they just committed that, and then they plan on killing another person, this person clearly isn't in their right mind, and the last thing that you should be doing is arguing with them at all or yelling at them. Like, they literally have a gun in their hand. They could kill you at any second. At that point, it's just safest to do whatever they say. And from Brittany's story, she would go on to say that when she went outside, she sat there for a little bit until on the inside of the house, she heard 1 gunshot go off, a bunch of screaming, and then 2 more gunshots go off. But she also heard a bunch of rustling coming inside as if her stepdad was fighting her. After about a minute, that's when Carly ran outside into the backyard and told Brittany, quote, run, and then they hopped over the fence and ran away. From there, Brittany ended up just running back to her house, while Carly ended up running 2 miles away from her home trying to flee the scene. Now, what was happening inside of the house from the stepdad's perspective, he goes on to say that when he opened up the front door, he was immediately met with Carly in front of his face, about a foot away, with a gun to his face. So he was able to move out of the way pretty quickly to where a bullet had just grazed his shoulder while he wrestled for the gun out of Carly's hands. Within this wrestle, there was 2 shots that have also gone off, but thankfully none of these 2 bullets had actually hit Heath. And then once Carly found out that she was out of rounds from the gun, she immediately just dropped the gun and ran out the backyard and hopped over the fence. Heath goes on to say that during the struggle, once Carly found out that she was out of rounds, she immediately dropped the gun and fell on the floor and started to kind of kick her feet backwards as she was screaming and crying at him. And the stepdad explains it that it looked as if Carly had just seen a demon. And also from the stepfather's story, he goes on to say that at first he didn't know that Carly had murdered his wife or her mom yet. He just walked in the door and saw Carly with a gun. So he assumed that maybe Carly had an encounter with an intruder and there was possibly an intruder still in the house, and she accidentally shot him thinking that he was an intruder or something like that. And so immediately after Carly had ran away, that's when he called the police because he had just been grazed by a bullet and needed help. And as he was on the phone with the police, that's when he would search around the home trying to see if the intruder was still inside. But unfortunately, during this 911 call is when Heath actually discovers the body of Ashley lying on the floor in Carly's room with a towel over her face.
Not playing that. Sorry.
During Carly's interrogation, that's when police find out that her and her family actually had a lot of issues. Friends of Carly's at school would actually go on to say that there had been multiple occasions where Carly had said that she wanted to kill her mom. The friend, Brittany, that saw the body that day actually later told her dad when she came home, and then that night both of them went to the sheriff's office to tell her side of the story. And in her statement, she would actually say, quote, blank stated that when she had arrived at Carly's residence that Carly had already killed her mother. Blank stated that Carly asked if she wanted to wait outside and that her stepdad, Heath Smiley, was about to be home. Blank stated that she waited outside for a short time after Heath returned home, then she heard 3 gunshots. Blank stated that Carly ran out the door into the backyard and the both climbed over the fence and ran from the scene. Police also spoke to her other friends and said that Carly hated both her mom and her dad. She felt that her mom was very controlling and even put cameras inside of the house to watch Carly, as well as other sources say that she just put the cameras in the house for security reasons and also out of safety for Carly's biological father, Kevin. Friends of Carly would also go on to say that Carly's stepdad supposedly abused her in some way of either sexual or physical. And when looking through Carly's records, they would find that there were a lot of medications that she was under, as I said, including Lexapro. So Carly, upon her arrest, said that she started to hear voices and had thoughts of harming herself. But for some reason, and this is crazy, her defense team was trying to plead the insanity plea. Okay, if you want to plead the insanity plea, then can you show us her medical records to prove that she is, criminally insane? But ironically, they refused the entire trial to hand over her medical record. And so instead of pleading the insanity plea, she just pled not guilty. At the trial, police would show all of the police body cam footage, including the footage of Heath, to which Carly had sobbed the entire time.
No. Chopped. You look chopped.
Showed footage footage of Ashley being discovered in Carly's room, to which Carly, weirdly, barely sheds a tear to that. Keith also showed up in court to testify and would talk about the moment that he found Ashley's body. He said that with the way Carly was reacting, he thought that maybe someone had broken in or they were trying to catch an intruder, and said that Carly moved extremely fast and believes that the whole occurrence only happened in 30 seconds. Once Carly ran off, he knew that he was hurt and wasn't able to catch her, so he was still thinking that there was an intruder, and that's when he started walking around and called the police, but then unfortunately discovered Ashley's body. He said that he ran over to her, checked her pulse, and then slowly removed the towel off of her face to reveal her mutilated face. Carly's friend also showed up to court to testify as well and believed that Carly was going through a lot of problems. And the friend that actually went up to Ashley to talk about his concerns about Carly's behavior testified in court and said that he believed Carly was going through a really rough time. She was smoking a lot of weed, nicotine vapes, keeping burner phones from her mom, and this friend just believed that Carly was going down a really rough path and didn't know who to talk to, because every time he brought it up to Carly, it was always a big fight and she didn't really want to listen to it. So this friend felt a little helpless and felt like maybe going to Ashley was the right thing to do. And in the end, with all of the given evidence and testimony as well as video footage, that's when the court would come to a decision and sentence Carly to life in prison without possibility of parole.
Verdict jury is count 1. We, the jury, find the defendant Carly Madison Gregg guilty of first-degree murder as charged in the indictment. Count 2. We, the jury, find the defendant Carly Madison Gregg guilty of attempted murder as charged in the indictment. Count 3. We, the jury, find the defendant Carly Madison Gregg guilty of tampering with evidence as charged in the indictment. Please be seated, Ms. Gregg. First-degree murder is charged in the indictment. Beginning on the first row, ma'am, is that your verdict? Sir, is that your verdict?
Yes, sir.
Ma'am, is that your verdict? Sir, is that your verdict? Ma'am, is that your verdict? You gotta answer out loud, ma'am. I'm sorry. On the back row, sir, is that your verdict? Ma'am, is that your verdict? Ma'am, is that your verdict? Sir, is that your verdict? Ma'am, is that your verdict? Ma'am, is that your verdict? Ma'am, is that your verdict? That verdict is proper and unanimous. As to count 2, we, the jury, find the defendant Carly Madison Gregg guilty of attempted murder as charged in the indictment. Beginning on the first row, ma'am, is that your verdict? Sir, is that your verdict?
A big part of being more productive is getting your finances in order. And the first step to doing that is contacting PDS Debt for a free personalized debt solution. Everyone with $10,000 in debt or more, ineligible debt qualifies, and there is no minimum credit score required.
Ma'am, is that your verdict? Sir, is that your verdict?
She was sentenced a life sentence for murder, a life sentence for attempted murder, and an additional 10 years for tampering with evidence. The defense actually tried to get Carly a life sentence with possibility of parole, but this attempt was never accepted. And yeah, that is the end of today's case. As for Carly today, as I said,
Bro,
this
we're
sentence
done?
happened just a couple days ago, so she's probably still in like her
30 minutes. I'm not even done. What the heck? How are we done already? I expected this to be like, the case to be like an hour. Not 30 minutes. What the heck? Let me find another one.
I'm making this video because it's in my final minutes of being alive.
What?
And to anybody that finds this, what you tell my parents, I love them deeply.
What?
I'm very sorry for doing this. I know I'm going to pay for my consequences. You know, I wish that I could have.
Also, this is my first time actually watching this video, so I have like no clue if I can play it. That's why I keep pausing it.
Not done this. I just lost my mind. I snapped and I
did what I did. Pay for it now.
I'm just not gonna play it. Oh no, I missed. Sorry.
I'm not a nut rider, but fuck God.
Ah!
SKR. What can I say? Life, peace.
What?
Hello, everyone.
Okay,
My
yeah.
name's Haley Elizabeth, and today we are going to be talking about the crazy case of Richard Samuel McCrockey. This case has been on my radar for a while now, but
What kind of
ever
last
since
name
I
is
got
that?
around to researching the specifics of this crime, it is so ruthless and brutal, and everyone in this case is so young too, which makes it so much scarier. But anyway, there is a lot to get through, so without further ado, we are going to get right into it. But before getting into all that, I do want to thank you so much for today's episode. Affordable too much because he
Wait.
was
What the heck?
Richard Samuel McCrockey was born in Castro Valley, California, to his parents, his sister Emily, and his brother Eric. Growing up, Samuel was definitely described as an outcast and was bullied a lot in school, mostly for his weight and his red hair. But whenever he was bullied, he
Redhead.
didn't fight back too much because he was very scared and timid, and so he never stood up to any of his bullies.
Hey girl, me too.
Bullying actually got so bad that he had to transfer to 2 different high schools before
Girl, I had to file a lawsuit for my bullying in 3rd grade. And it was a private Christian school. That says a lot about me, right? Right.
eventually.
Also, we're on the 2nd case if you can't tell.
Again, the bullying got so bad that he decided to drop out.
Oh.
Even though he was dropped out of high school,
Drop out.
he didn't just... I got something in my eyeball. I feel like every time I make these videos, there's always something in my eye. Oh my god. But when Richard dropped out of high school, he didn't really just sit around and do nothing. He got into graphic design and making websites and coding, and so that was something that he just did on the side for some extra money. And then also during this time is when he attempted at getting his music career off of the ground, specifically in horrorcore rap. Now, if you guys don't know what horrorcore is, because I'd always heard of the phrase, but I didn't really know like in depth what it was. Horrorcore is a subgenre of hip hop that features horror themed lyrics and imagery, often inspired by slasher films or splatter films.
What?
Again, I didn't really know how popular horrorcore was, but apparently Masterclass, if you guys have ever heard of Masterclass, like Gordon Ramsay is on there, and all these like wonderful directors and writers are on this website. Literally on Masterclass, they have an article talking about horrorcore, and on their website they say, quote, "Horrorcore is a subgenre of hardcore rap that delves into horror themes such as death, violence, slasher films, and Satan worship. It also goes horror rap or death rap. Horrorcore lyrics frequently reference horror films, violence, human sacrifice, cannibalism, mutilation, and Satan worship. Many horrorcore tracks are built on a foundation of synths and samplers that evoke fear and dread." So apparently, once again, this is like a really big genre, and I didn't even know about it until I was researching this case. And so a lot of people that were close would describe him as very kind and smart, but he was also very quiet and didn't really talk to anyone unless he was spoken to first. But as far as his online social media presence, it was the complete opposite to who he was in real life. Online, he was, as I said, a horrorcore rapper.
Oh, baby.
No, we're not. No, we're not. No.
So he would post a lot about his fantasies with horrorcore murder scenes scenes and would even post videos of his room. He had horrorcore artwork on the walls and all of his favorite horrorcore bands. So online, Richard went by the names Psycho Sam and Little Demon Dog, and a lot of people think that his screen name is inspired by his unhealthy obsession with the killer named David Richard, aka the Son of Sam. Now, if you guys don't know who the Son of Sam is, the Son of Sam, aka David Richard Berkowitz, for those who don't know, was a mid-20s man from New York, and between the years of 1976 and 77, he had conducted 8 shootings that ended up killing 6 people. And when David was asked why he had committed all of those shootings when he was finally caught, he said that he was instructed to do it by a demon that manifested into a black dog that belonged to his neighbor named Sam. And the Son of Sam was also said to be an evangelical Christian, which from my understanding is just Christianity, but with more emphasis on faith rather than actions. And it was also said that the Son of Sam was a part of a satanic cult that orchestrated the shootings as a ritual murder. And so David Richard Berkowitz, ironically, his middle name being Richard had clung on to Son of Sam and was obsessed with his beliefs. Richard would also post a lot on social media of him hanging out in graveyards and holding sharp knives and rusty axes in abandoned places. There was also one video where he was wearing a skull bandana and he was basically just freestyling in the rain in the front of like this Gothic church. And in the freestyle, he had said, quote, "The evil voices inside my head, they just want me to murder continuously. They want me to take lives on a mass murder spree. They love the smell of a body that's rotten and decayed. That's what I think about."
Huh? No.
When I'm stalking my prey. Kind of crazy for a freestyle, but like it's 10 times scarier when you find out what he does in the future. So he would post a lot of his horrorcore songs and freestyles on his social media. So the bigger that he got, he started to connect with other people in the space that were interested in horrorcore like he was. He started to connect with more people that were interested in the niche, and ironically, his brother Eric also loved a little bit of horrorcore. He was more into like the punk rock / rock scene, but he did have a slight interest in horrorcore like Richard did. And one of the people that Richard would connect with throughout this horrorcore group was a girl who was 16-year-old Emma Kelly Niederbrock. So as far as Emma actually lived in Farmville, Virginia with her mom, who was Dr.
Okay, I'm done. I don't really feel like reacting to the rest of the case online. Actually, maybe I will. Hold on. Do I want to color this on live? You know what? What are we at? An hour and 11. What am I at on the? Yeah, I guess I could do one more. I could do one more sheet while reacting to this. Yeah, okay. Heart, smiley face. 3/17. So if you haven't seen my face, this is me. Hello. Okay. Wait, I need to look at the date. 3/17/25. Bam. Bang, bang, bang. Wait. Like this? Like that? Yeah. Whatever. Should I color this? Should I not? Kind words are easy to speak, but their echoes are truly endless. So that sounded really awkward, but do I want to color this? 2 hours till Ma gets home. An hour and 12 on my live. 44 minutes of that. Plus, I'm going to be talking. Yeah, I guess I could color a little more. I was going to end it here, but nah. It's spring break.
Kelly, who was a sociology
Deborah.
and criminology professor. Did I say that right?
Criminology.
Criminology. You know what I mean? She was a professor at Longwood University. And her dad was named Mark Allen Niederbrock, and he was a reverend. Ever since Emma was in middle school, she had been homeschooled and grew up in a very strict and religious house.
Homeschooled. I'm gonna call you out. Ada. Yara. I'm talking to you. You're homeschooled. Right? No hate to you, though. Love you. Can I cover this? Yeah, I can. Why is my camera so dirty? Ew. Wait, what can I do? Hold on. Oh, I can pin messages now? Oh, I'm doing that. I'm gonna cover the camera because I don't like whenever y'all look at me. I don't like showing my face. I'm very insecure of that. Let me pin a message. What is going on? I can't pin or what? Shut up and let me pin. Oh, okay, I found the message. Wait. Click. Pin. Pin. Wow. We did it. We pinned the message.
And so then when she was in high school, she started to develop a very secret, rebellious phase. And I don't know, it kind of reminds me of like Lane from Gilmore Girls. So during this time is when she would start listening to horrorcore genre stuff and horrorcore rap. But she started to secretly hide this side of herself from her parents and would actually get signed posters from all of her favorite horrorcore rappers and hide them in between her mattresses. And then after a while,
how does one achieve that? That's my question. If I could have a signed paper, whatever you want to call it, I would probably go get it from like Mitski or like Taylor Swift or like Sabrina Carpenter. That was really irrelevant. I'm so sorry.
She started to rebel a little bit more and started to lean more into her horrorcore vibe by dyeing her hair a vibrant pink and doing her makeup a lot darker and a little bit more editorial. But when Emma's parents saw this change in Emma, they didn't really think much of it. They just kind of thought that maybe Emma was going through a phase, and they also thought that maybe this big change in Emma also had to do with the big transition going on in her life. She was going from public school to homeschool, and at the start of high school, she was homeschooled. So usually high school is like the biggest years of your life, and she had to be home for all of that. And then on top of that, her parents were also getting a divorce, and Mark, her father, currently wasn't living in the house. And so with all of this going on, they just thought like maybe this switch in Emma was because of all of that. But even though Mark had left the household, he didn't really let that affect his relationship with Emma at all. He would go to the house all the time to hang out with Emma, and every time the parents were near one another, they were very calm and civil. They made sure never to argue or bring anything negative in front of Emma. But at this point, Emma's mother, Deborah, started to become a little bit concerned for Emma after finding some really weird posters in Emma's room talking about dark satanic rituals and brainwashing. So that's when Deborah decided that the family should get family counseling so that they would be able to better communicate during this big transition. But like Richard, Emma also had some online friends.
I don't really like this case. I'm gonna pick another one. Actually, I don't want to pick another one. Actually, I don't even know what I want to do right now. I don't care. Please give me a notification. Please. No notifications.
Act like an angel.
No! Wrong app. What is on my TikTok? What is on my TikTok?
50% off.
Ooh.
I sketch visions of my future, but sometimes the wrong shape. All right, but first you can I pray for you. What happened to you?
Support Palestine, but Brianna's funeral was held March 15th, 2023. She was pulled by white
What?
horses in a white carriage with pink feathers. All mourners were asked to wear pink. And Amelia, Brianna's best friend, was in attendance, and this was the first time they were in person at her funeral.
Oh, the Tory.
Why is it in the cage? I think you did that thing into my face. What did you say about my face?
It's hot tea.
Guess who's just
Always been too scared and unprepared to let anybody get too close to me. Always been too scared.
Hey, let me know. Flicking a drop in a heat up, all down. Shaking up world. Me needs you, making everything come like black, black.
Okay, all that's left is dust, aka the bulldozer. Right when. Would you slap? I'm tired of Christians talking.
Okay, guys, we're.
I've rejected affection for you.
What's going on? You were stopping.
If I had to pick the best rapper, it would probably be like, I don't know. Don't get me canceled, but it would be Yugi. I mean, well, not Yugi. It would be. I feel like it'd be Suga from BTS, low key. He's a really, really good rapper. If it weren't for Yoongi, I'd probably not be into K-pop. So I put my hats off to him, low key. I want him to give us an update on his life because he's gone missing. Oh no. What's the next page? Can I actually use my markers on these? Can I use my markers on these? No, I don't think I can.
I was cooking and I burned the bacon. I was cooking and I burned the bacon. Your checking account available. How to take notes in our Bible. A lot of you guys have been asking me how to take notes in our Bible and just take regular notes. So I thought I'd show you how I do them. First, supplies. What are we using in our Bibles? For highlighters, this brand right here, I recommend. They are such great highlighters and they're light enough to where they don't seep through the pages, but dark enough to where you can actually see them. Want to make sure that you are not putting a Sharpie highlighter on your Bible pages because it will seep through and just mess a lot of things up. Next, I haven't found a lot of pens that work with these, but these Paper Mate gel pens work perfectly and you can get them in a bunch of colors and I love them. With the Paper Mate pen,
Oh my goodness. I had no idea somebody joined. Oopsies. So, you missed, I don't know, I'm not making, you feel bad or anything, but you missed a lot. You missed an hour of me reacting to true crime. It's okay though. I'll put something on. I'll put another true crime case and then I can do an hour of reacting to it. It's okay. I'll put something on. Hold on. If I find something though, because YouTube doesn't want to give me good recommendations.
A big part of being more productive is getting your mind
I don't like YouTube recommendations.
Steps to doing that is
They don't give me good. They don't give me anything.
personalized debt solution. Everyone with $10,000 in debt or more, an eligible debt qualifies, and there is no minimum credit score required. Online.
Hush. Let me find something though. I'm trying to find something really quick. 12. Girl, I can't find any good crime videos. Ugh. There's a Taylor Swift obsessed crime killer.
My name is
What?
Elizabeth,
A Waffle House shooting. What the heck? A Waffle House shooting? What? I guess I'll watch this.
A little bit of whatever I want. Conspiracy theories, controversial people, true crime, vlogs. So if you're interested in any of that, you can subscribe. And if you're not, totally chill. We are just here to do some makeup, talk about some true crime. And for today's case, we're going to be talking about the case of the Taylor Swift stalker. Now, there is a lot to get through, so we're just going to...
By the way, if you can't be here the entire time, I'm gonna if you're not gonna be able to be here the entire time, I'm gonna finish this case anyway, so that way you could see it. You know what I'm saying? So don't feel bad. You didn't really miss out on a lot. I'm just being dramatic, because why not?
Hop right into it. But before getting into the rest of today's video, I do want to give a shout out to the sponsor of today's episode.
I don't like sponsors.
Subscription at Gold Chevy Silverado.
Wait, miss so
on
much.
April 22nd of 2018 at around 3:20 a.m. That is when a gold Chevy Silverado pulls into
A gold Chevy Silverado. Colors like that exist? Oh my gosh. I want a gold car in the future. Actually, no, I'll just stick to my van, my accessible van. I'll just stick to that.
parking lot of a local Waffle House near Nashville.
I love
Now,
Waffle
although
House.
It was 3:20 in the morning. It was extremely packed inside of the Waffle House because everyone who had been partying the night before on Saturday night were just hungry and looking for some food. And Waffle House, for those who don't know, is open 24 hours. So although it was late at night, there was a lot of people in there. And this person in the Chevy Silverado, they just pulled in front of the Waffle House at 3:20 and stared at the Waffle House for about 4 minutes until 3:24 a.m. when the person exited their truck. And on the outside, this man just looked normal. He looked like an average guy, but underneath his jacket was actually an AR-15, and he was planning on walking into that Waffle House to shoot everyone in revenge of Taylor Swift stalking him. The man who was
What?
holding the AR-15 was by the name of Travis Ranking. Travis Ranking was born on April 1st, 1989 in Morton, Illinois to his parents, Judy and Jeffrey.
This is too risky to
Morton,
color.
Illinois with his parents and his 3 siblings. And for those who don't know, Morton, Illinois, kind of like a middle class, upper class sort of town. So Travis was kind of born into money, and as a kid, he sort of just got everything that he wanted. Travis's dad, Jeffrey, was actually the owner of his own construction company called J&J Cranes, where basically it was like crane rentals. And as far as the family, a lot of people describe the family as very warm, very inviting. They were very respected in the community as well because they tended to give back to the community as much as they could. Travis was indeed homeschooled his entire life with his siblings, and it was said that Travis actually went to public school for a semester before his parents were the one that pulled him out of public school and decided to put him back into homeschooling. Now, I'm not sure why his parents decided to take him out of school, but he eventually did get his high school diploma through homeschool. After he graduated, that is when he started working in construction with his father. When he started working for his father, he was able to get enough money to get his own apartment, and this apartment was actually located right above the construction sector of J&J Cranes. And so Travis just rented out that space and gave the money to his dad every month. And so Travis at this time in his life was doing really, really well. Although he didn't go to college, he was making really good money working with his dad. He had his own place, and getting a very good paying job right out of high school is automatically a win whether you go to college or not. And so over the next few years, this is exactly how Travis's life pursued. He started to get more money. He even started to promote himself in his father's company. And I'm assuming with Jeffrey like taking Travis on so quickly, he probably had high hopes of Travis taking over the company one day so that he'd be able to retire. And this is actually what it looked like was going to happen until 2014, when Travis was in his mid-20s. He started to experience some hallucinations and also hearing and seeing things. It was just small occurrences at first, nothing too noticeable, but Travis also...
I hear the word hallucination and I think of IN. I'm so sorry. I do not know if anybody thinks the same way or if it's just me, but I think of IN every time I hear hallucination. And it's low-key kind of funny, but I mean, like, thinking of IN every time I hear the word hallucination is funny, not like actually having, like, hallucinations. That's not funny, right? Oh my gosh, this case is 57 minutes. I'm gonna have y'all till like 2 hours and 30 minutes.
did live by himself, and so there was no one that was like watching him every single day and taking note of these odd behaviors. Around this age of 24, 25, it was believed that this is when Travis started to develop schizophrenia. Now, for those who don't know, schizophrenia starts in most people around their mid-20s, so this would have been around the time where he would start feeling symptoms. Since, again, he didn't really live with anyone and he didn't really see anyone besides his family and his coworkers, his condition over the next year started to just get worse and worse until 2015, when his condition really started to spiral. In 2015, that is when Travis had went to a Taylor Swift concert with a couple of his friends, and while he was there, Travis was, just watching Taylor. She was singing, she was dancing, she was putting on a performance, and Travis said,
I love Taylor. I love Taylor.
That at one point in the concert, he could have sworn he saw Taylor stop, stare right into Travis's eyes, and mouth the words, hello. Now, did Taylor
Bro, if that ever happened to me, I would be crying.
actually say hello?
No.
She's a celebrity. She's on stage performing to like thousands of people.
True.
Of course, she's saying hi and I love you to everyone in the crowd. But as for Travis, he did not take this as just, Taylor saying hi to a fan. He took this as Taylor knowing him personally and singing songs to him. And she said hi to specifically him. After this, he would later become obsessed with...
If that ever happened to me, like if Taylor ever said hi to me, I would be like crying. I'd be dying. I'd be like passing out, low key. Well, not really. But if that ever happened to me, I'd be really happy. What?
Taylor Swift, he would know every fact and detail about her. He would follow a bunch of Taylor Swift update accounts to figure out her next move and where she was all the time. And then after...
I mean, don't get me wrong, I do that too, but like I don't go to the extent of like knowing where she's gonna be like next. I don't really do that. I just, oh, she's here? Cool. Oh, she's over there? Cool. I don't really want to go. I don't really want to, like, harass her or anything like that. So I look, but I don't act.
This, although him and Taylor obviously weren't talking, he began to tell people that he was actually dating Taylor Swift.
You're
He would tell all of his
delusional.
friends, family, co-workers that him and Taylor were in a very serious relationship. He would go on to tell people that him and Taylor were talking on an everyday basis, over the phone, over text message. And Travis, on his own time, would actually start sending letters to Taylor Swift, like through her fan mail. He was kind of
Oh, I need to start. I want to send a letter to Taylor. That'd be really cool. I didn't even know you could do that. That's a surprise. I didn't know you could do that. I want to send a letter to Stray Kids, low key. What happens if I just write them a letter and just send it off? But they don't allow that. Bummer.
using Taylor's fan mail as sort of, I'm talking to Taylor Swift. And he would also send lots of letters that basically sounded as if Taylor had responded. One of his letters from the fan mail says, quote, Taylor, I'm really confused right now. I don't know if it was you in the pictures on Instagram or someone who looks like you. Do you really have a twin sister? Which one am I in love with then? I want the Taylor that wrote those beautiful songs and sang to me at her concert. Maybe Taylor 1 wrote half and Taylor 2 wrote half. Maybe I saw Taylor 1 in Morton and Taylor 2 in concert. Who is the girl in the music videos then? It was then where Travis started to create this entire world, this entire new reality, where him and Taylor Swift were madly in love with each other. They talked every single day, and he wasn't very shy about this either. Like, as I said, Travis would go out and tell like his friends, his family, his coworkers. He would openly tell people that he was in love with her and she was in love with him. Now, people's reactions to this was very confused because it's Taylor Swift. And so a lot of his friends and family were very confused as to how he even met Taylor Swift in the first place. And they also started to notice that he became extremely dodgy or defensive every time someone would ask him a simple question about his and Taylor's relationship, such as like, do you have a picture of you two together? Or why doesn't she come over to the house for the holidays? Just simple things like that always led to a huge argument, so people just stopped bringing it up in general. And at first, families and friends actually did believe Travis. They thought that maybe he did start dating a celebrity. But then as time went on, that is when family and friends of Travis really started to notice that this is not a thing that was happening. He was not even talking to Taylor Swift, and these were truly just delusions that he had. But since people tended to ignore it or not talk about it, this basically just led Travis's mental health as well as his delusions and the new reality that he created. It basically just got worse and worse after this because he was getting no help. It started to get worse and worse to the point where the only thing that Travis would talk about was Taylor Swift. Even if it wasn't about their relationship, it was basically about like her life or what she's doing or what she's up to. May of 2016, that is when Judy and Jeffrey, Travis's parents, went to the county sheriff and asked him for help on what they should do to their son. The parents started to explain to the sheriff everything that was going on and saying that their son believes that he is in a relationship with Taylor Swift, and it's gotten extremely bad, and they're growing very concerned because these stories are starting to just make no sense. And an example of a story that he told his parents was,
let him be Delulu. He'll find out one day. He'll find out one day. He'll log in. Halfway done with my thing, by the way. Well, actually, no, not really.
that he told his family that he met up with Taylor Swift at a local Dairy Queen, but when she saw him, she immediately ran away and spider crawled up the side of a building and then just hopped over the building because she got scared that she saw him. And he says that the reason why Taylor was able to climb up buildings is because she's a part of the Illuminati. And when you're a part of the Illuminati, you become a lizard person and you're able to have like certain abilities such as spider crawling up buildings. And every time the parents would ask Travis like, hey, why doesn't Taylor come over to the house? Why doesn't she meet us? Travis always had an excuse and said that since she was a part of the Illuminati, her interactions with strangers has to be very, very minimal. And even her talking to Travis alone is putting her in a lot of trouble. That wasn't the reason why the parents were calling. They were calling because his stories were just getting too outrageous, but they were also calling because he believed that his parents and the police were like working together to try to take down his and Taylor's relationship. And so when the police heard this, they automatically said to them, you know, clearly Travis is not in a good mind state. Clearly he needs lots of help. And so the county sheriff had suggested to the parents to take Travis to a mental facility and check him in for treatment. At first, Travis, of course, did resist any sort of help, but after a while, they were able to convince him, and he actually did go to a treatment center, but only for 9 days before being released. And during his stay there, he was diagnosed with schizophrenia. Because his condition had worsened so much over the years, you would think that maybe they would do something to help his condition. But no, Travis was literally just given 9 days of treatment, some medication, and then was kicked out the door. And even afterwards, he was given no like follow-up therapies, no follow-up doctor's appointments, just literally medication, and that's it. And so obviously Travis was not taking any of these medications, and so it was basically like he went to the treatment center for nothing. And so because of his family sending him to a mental facility.
Oh my gosh, we're only 14 minutes in, dude. My hand is cramping.
A lot of tension between Travis and his family. His family was very concerned for him and only wanted the best for him, but Travis just felt like he was, you know, the only sane person in the room. So because of the constant fighting and constant tension between him and his family, he decided to pack up all of his things and move to Salida, Colorado. While he was there, that is when he met up with a family friend and got a job in the crane industry. But although he did move away to Colorado, that did not stop or slow down his Taylor Swift obsession. At this new job, he started to tell all of his coworkers how he was dating Taylor Swift, how they were getting married soon, how they were so in love, and obviously his coworkers just laughed in his face because it's Taylor Swift, and they're all super confused. And again, every single time he was asked about like pictures or messages or anything like that, he became extremely defensive and always had an excuse for everything. And so actually one day at work, his coworkers and Travis were getting into it as they usually do. His coworkers were like, "You're not dating Taylor Swift, like stop lying." Travis continuously says, "I am dating Taylor Swift," and he even says that him and Taylor are getting married soon. So this group of coworkers is like, okay, if you're getting married to Taylor Swift soon, why don't you show us the ring that you got her? Like, did you propose yet? And in that moment, Travis then pulls out of his pocket a $14,000 diamond engagement ring that he was going to give to Taylor when he proposed to her. Now, this was not like premeditated. This group didn't say, "Oh, bring in the ring tomorrow." This was a ring that Travis bought on his own time, like without the pressure of his coworkers. He genuinely went out and spent $14,000 of his own money to buy a ring that is literally going to go to no one because he's not dating Taylor Swift. And so when his coworkers saw this ring, they started to feel very indecisive about the whole thing. They started to kind of wonder, like, is he dating Taylor Swift? Because why else would he get a $14,000 ring? Or maybe he's not dating Taylor Swift and he's just suffering some really bad mental health issues. But Travis's coworkers also started to take note of Travis's behaviors towards Taylor Swift, which was very on and off, because it was said that one day Travis would come in and he would speak very highly of Taylor, saying that they were in love and that they were going to get married soon. But then the next day when he came in, he would go on and on saying that he hated Taylor, that him and Taylor broke it off, but Taylor is stalking him. He would go on to say that Taylor Swift was hacking into his computers and breaking into his apartment, to which he even called the police for once. Try Zero free for 30 days.
911 emergency.
Not playing that.
But after this call, nothing really happened from it, and his condition just got worse and worse, to the point where he started to believe that the police, the Colorado police, was working with Taylor Swift in order to stalk him and make him feel like he was going crazy. So since he believed that the police were in on this too, he decided to pack up all of his things and move away. He quit his job and he basically just hopped out of town. So when he quit his job and moved out of town, the family friend that got him the job in the first place, he started to grow very concerned for Travis, because he basically just left. And while leaving, he said that he was going to marry Taylor Swift. That is when the family friend calls Jeffrey, Travis's dad, and basically just lets him know on everything of what's going on. I don't know where he's moving to, but he seems like he needs a lot of help. He also tells Jeffrey about the $14,000 engagement ring, and he basically just tells Jeffrey that he's very concerned for Travis, and he feels that Travis is going through some sort of mental break, and he definitely needs some help. So that is when Jeffrey contacts Travis and tries to convince him to move back to his apartment in Morton, Illinois, and that's when Travis agrees. Travis moves back into his old apartment right above J&J Cranes, but just because he moved back home doesn't mean that he was getting the help that he needed, because 3 months into him working there, that is when one day, randomly, Travis shows up at work wearing a pink dress and holding an AR-15, and he walks into the building and starts screaming at one of his coworkers. Now, this coworker immediately runs out of the building, goes to his car, and drives away, and he was able to get away, but Travis actually went from the building and walked over to like a nearby public pool, and he did the same exact thing. He showed up in a pink dress and an AR-15 and started just screaming at everyone. And obviously everyone ran for their lives. Families ran. Travis basically ran up to the pool, started screaming random nonsense before jumping into the pool. At no point did he ever shoot the gun or point the gun at anyone. He basically was just holding it sort of as like power, I guess, before eventually jumping into the pool. Now, when the police showed up, they tried to negotiate with Travis to get him out of the pool because he was carrying a gun. Travis refused to get out of the pool, and even at one point stripped completely naked and started shaking himself around to basically mock the police in that he wasn't going to get out. But eventually Travis was taken out of the pool and arrested. Now, you would think that something like this, wearing a pink dress and going to your work with a gun and screaming at a coworker, and then on top of that, going to a local pool where there's like families and children and just showing up there with a gun and a pink dress and start like screaming and jumping into the pool. And on top of that, stripping naked because you didn't want to get out of the pool. That's not like a sane thing to do. That's not something that like a sober or sane person would do. So clearly Travis is struggling with a lot of mental health issues. You would think that even bringing a gun out to a local pool would get you some sort of charges, but Travis was simply just let go. He was given no charges, no gun charges for having a gun in public, bringing a weapon to the workplace. He was just let off as if nothing even happened. And even though all of his family, his friends, the police station, they clearly saw that Travis was not well and he wasn't going to do much better unless he was given help, but no one gave Travis help. It just seemed like everyone was just staying away from Travis and hoping that the problem that Travis had would just go away on its own. But unfortunately, when you are dealing with serious mental health issues, it doesn't just go away on its own. It eventually gets worse and worse, and that's exactly what happened to Travis. He would begin going on Facebook Live, where he would go on all these rants about just nonsense. There was even a specific Facebook video that he did that was about 15 minutes long, and it's basically just him ranting about
I'm gonna speed this. I'm gonna put this in like 1.5 speed.
how he believes Taylor Swift had broken into his apartment while he was gone. Now, the full 15-minute video, I will be leaving links down below if you guys want to watch it in full, but I'm just going to give you the most important bits right now.
This is why I'm angry right now. I come back up to my apartment, and this is all my dad's property. My dad owns this property, but toilet seat open. But some gone.
Up, which is very now, as you can see from that rant, he's literally making no sense. He's saying that Taylor Swift was the one that broke into his house, but she left the toilet seat up because she's wearing boyish clothing, so she wants to become a boy. And he even goes on to say that he doesn't ever leave the toilet seat up, which is very hard to believe because he's a guy, and usually guys like leave the toilet seat up so you don't get pee on the toilet seat when you're peeing. Then goes on another rant where he believes that the community is all working together to try to take him down, because he says he recently just got his own pickup truck, and today when he was driving it, he stopped behind another truck, and the truck had a bumper sticker that said, quote, "Silly boys, trucks are for girls." Just as like a very fun, silly comment, very playful, but Travis did not see that as silly and playful. He saw that as the community placing that sticker on that car at that time that he was behind that truck, just to make him feel bad about himself and feel bad that he got a truck.
They're these sexist people. I saw this thing the other day when I was going to a Egan. It was like, silly boys, girls drive big trucks. And it was right after I bought my truck, so that a coincidence? I don't know. These people just got these bumper stickers just going, like I said, that's
and so, as you can see with the way that he's getting extremely angry about these very small things, and how like all of these things that he's saying doesn't really make sense, but they're all very vaguely connected. This rant that you see is very similar to that of schizophrenia rants. So as you can see from that rant alone, his conditions keep getting worse and worse. But once again, although his conditions continue to get worse, no one in his life is stepping up and getting him help. No one really close to him decided to check him into a mental facility. His condition would just soon
Oh my gosh, dude, my arm, my hands. Oh, I'm getting cramps. I've been coloring for 2 hours. My hands hurt so bad. Oh. My hands hurt so bad.
Because the following year, on July of 2017, that is when Travis decided to take a little trip to Washington, D.C., specifically the White House, and he got off the bus, went up to the White House, and demanded to speak with every member that was in the American government, which I'm pretty sure is quite impossible. Now, the whole situation is kind of hard to explain, so I'm just going to read to you the police report from that day. The police report says, quote, "On July 7th, 2017, at approximately 3:30 p.m., Travis approached AO, which stands for A."
I give up. I give up. I'm just gonna color this like however. I give up. I'm tired.
At the northeast pedestrian entrance on Pennsylvania Avenue, Travis stated he must get into the White House and speak with POTUS. AO explained that you must obtain a tour and told Travis to move from blocking the pedestrian entrance. Travis again stated that he wanted to speak to the president and said that he is a sovereign citizen and has the right to inspect the grounds. AO told him again to move from the blocking pedestrian entrance. Travis began to take his tie off and balled it into his fist and began approaching AO and walked past the security barriers. Travis walked past stating, quote, "Do what you need to do. Arrest me if you have to." AO grabbed Travis by the wrist and bicep and escorted him outside the security barrier. AA01, which is basically like another officer. AA01 arrived on scene and began to question Travis. Travis was told to leave a secured area and refused. AO placed Travis under arrest for unlawful entry. Travis was transported to the Metropolitan 2nd District for processing. So once again, from that interaction alone, you can definitely tell that Travis and his mental health is slowly starting to deteriorate. Now he's literally taking flights to the White House in order to prove his point. Even the aftermath of this whole incident, Travis was still never given any help. Travis was even telling
My hand hurts so
the
bad.
guards at the entrance that he needs to speak with the government because he's so confused as to why he can't recognize anyone in the government. He says that since all of these people are strangers, basically, that he doesn't have to listen to them if he doesn't want to. And after this, you would think that, like, attempting to break into the White House would probably give you some sort of jail time or some sort of something. But due to this, all Travis got was 32 community service hours. He got no jail time. He was given no penalty, just a little bit of community service. Also, due to this incident, Travis's guns were all taken away from him.
I'm done. Wait. I'm done. This is too detailed. I need my other book. Where's my other book? Where is it? I know it's in here. Where is it? Where's my other? Is it this? No, that's not it. My other coloring book. I had two. Is this it? Is this it? Like this. Is this it? Where is it? Oh, it's right here. I'm stupid. Oh, if y'all want to see. This is like a little kid handwriting. My cousin wrote it instead of me. Markers. I love coloring. Oh, you can't see it. Sorry. Let me go get my markers. That's all for one. Let me take a break. Actually, you know what? Nah, I'm gonna turn it off. It's been 2 hours. It's been 2 hours. I'm tired. It's been 2 hours. I think I'm gonna go. Bye, bros. Where's it not working? Oh, there we go.